Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video from Ascended Gods. Oh my god, I've been working on optimizing lighting for so long now. It's just getting ridiculous. So I've tried everything: virtual shadow maps, normal shadow maps. I have tried to edit the lightings. I found out that point lights are really intensive, so I had to change them. And for example, these things I put everywhere to give some lighting in the evening, they're really intense and heavy on calculating for a GPU. I'm going to give you an example. I'm running a RTX 4090 and I'm only getting about 50 frames per second on the epic settings. So just to give you a picture of how crazy it is. One sec. So yeah, it is just absolutely crazy on how much details on lighting you can have in your game. So for now, this is way more stable. We optimize it to have like almost 200% more FPS compared to before. Yeah, but still, I'm not really entirely happy with the results just yet. I will still be working on this, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the environment now without those lightings I was talking about earlier. So the biggest difference is that I changed everything from the point lights to that were really intense to those spotlights, and spotlights seem to be using less performance compared to the point lights. So that was a major challenge for sure. I'm still doubting about those waterfalls over there because they are pretty intensive as well apparently, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna be doing with those, but we'll leave it for now. Also, I've added a little bit of a portal here that will bring you to the dragons den. It's still unfinished because these steps are really way too high, let's say. But as soon as you just enter this, boop, you will enter the dungeon or whatever, and you're able to upgrade your weapon over here, as I showed you in the previous video. So that is basically how well the lighting is going now. So as you can see, epic settings, 50 FPS, it's running pretty darn smoothly. We don't have those really big drops that we had before, because sometimes when you looked over somewhere, it was just like dropping down to 30 FPS or something like that. That was not really a good thingy. Also, this portal will disappear because I just put it in here for those purposes of testing only. As you just saw me running into the dungeon, let's say, that will be the entrance from that point. So every time you will need to go and do some smithing, you have to walk all the way to the dragon in order to get to this cave. So that is one of the changes I'm going to be making, but for testing purposes and everything like that, I will most of the time just make it simple for myself, and so that I can test it as quickly as possible to save some time in game development. So let's go to let's say the Mystic Islands. As you can see, I changed the fog a little bit more, so that I don't know, because there's not really a lot of islands surrounding this island, for example, and I don't want people to stare into the abyss the whole time, because it's just endless nothing to the left over here, for example. We're gonna do some sketchy stuff over here, but it looks really nice, to be honest. Like you have a less clear view of what is behind this or the next island that you'll be facing, so it makes it look way more natural in some way, because we're on a floating plane of whatever anyway. So that is one of the biggest changes we've made. But it also looks way more natural or realistic when you look forward to right in front of us, for example. Like, you have this depth field of how far something can actually be. Like, it just gives you a little bit more of an idea of how big it is. Before that, we didn't really have that. So as you can see, it makes the environment way more nicely, and also it helps me with lighting up dark places like shadows, like this shadow over here. Like, I'm completely disappeared at this point, so you'll have to keep in mind that there will be some really dark spots in the game, and if it's nighttime, there will be areas that are really unlit, so that will be a big challenge and maybe prevents you from doing those activities during the nighttime, and you will have to do it during the daytime. So that is one of the things that I've changed. Basically all the lightings for the portal as well have been changed. As you can see, it is not the same way as it was lit before, but I do think it looks more pretty this way, and also it's way more performance friendly than it was before. And even if I still run over it, I still get a little bit of an FPS drop here and there, but it's not terrible. I can live with that. So it was just basically a lot of people had this issue with slower computers or lower graphics cards, that they were unable to play the game entirely because it was just so heavy to play. And I wanted to change that straight away. So let's go to the next thing that we optimized. That's the Ascension zones. This was one of the most heavy zones, and it still is really heavy because of all the lightings in this area. So I tried to optimize it as best as I could, and I might have to change a few more things in the future. I did give this some additional lighting over here as well, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be necessary at the end. But these portals, the biggest ones that are in the game, will be of course really heavy on computational power. So as you can see, it's about like 50 FPS to 30 FPS just when you get into this area. So I'm not sure if this is optimized good enough yet, but over here is just way too much lightings going on, so I will need to change these a little bit and be selective. There's still a new area coming behind this island, so this is why there is still an opening available over here. And of course I changed all the additional portals, like this one as well. This one's so bright that it's actually shining in your eyes from that distance. It does look really nice at night, to be honest. So I'm gonna leave it like that. So yeah, all these portals have been changed and optimized in lighting. There was a small bug where there was a gap between these two floors, so I also fixed that little issue over there. This portal has turned out to be even more insane. The lighting is just freaky. This is gonna be a really nice Ascension zone. So for people that don't know what Ascension zones are, I'm gonna give you guys some sort of puzzles and stuff like that, and you will need to unlock that based on your Ascension rank. So every 20 ranks you have a possibility to access your the next Ascension zone. So I'm Ascension rank 13. I'm sorry, yeah, 13. And as soon as I reach 20, you can get those points by killing bosses or NPCs or do Slayer tasks, stuff like that, or yeah, whatever. It's basically pretty simple. But you will gain some Ascension tokens along the way, and you will get a small bonus if you complete those zones. And as you can see, the lighting is starting to look really nice, but this area is so completely dark that is just a problem. I tried to add some crystals for lighting with Lumen, but apparently Lumen is not working so great. It's only illuminating something that you look at too, and it's not working out the way I want it to. So you have this like tiny little bit of area that is lit up by these candles, but actually it's not doing anything on the floors over here. So that needs a lot of change, and I don't know how to fix it entirely. I will see. But it's, as you can see, this is such a dark area that it's pretty much unplayable, and that is not what we want. Of course, this is one of the most dark times of the day, of course, because as you can see, it does look really beautiful at the moment, like at this this altar over here. So you have this transition between night and day, and basically the moon and the sun are not aligned properly. Yeah, they are aligned properly, but it goes by so slowly that the moon isn't up yet, let's say. So there is no light from the moon and no light from the sun at the exact same moment. So that is going to be a dark spot that we will have to think about, like how we can fix that. But as you can see, some areas are still lit up and basically still playable. But of course, this area is total darkened as well. So we do have to fix something in the future so it's a little bit more playable than this. And let's go to the Homeland Isles. This will be one of the most brightest zones because this one is probably in the most lit area. And as you can see, we still have about 50 FPS on this. But the funny thing is, I know the road to the town, so I know where to run to. So that is one of the issues we will have to solve in this new lighting setup, that everything is so dark between those hours. But maybe it has its charms that everything is so dark at the same time. So that's why I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think? Like, should we just leave it so that you'll have like a 10-minute gap of light in the game, but as soon as the moon is properly up and the sun is properly up, you can actually see where you're walking? But I do think that the moon at this current moment is a little bit too dark, as you can see now. Like, the bridge is pretty much unlit. So that is a thing I really do want to fix. But I'm not sure, because if you go to the area where the moon is actually shining on, it is pretty much fine. So I don't know. So I wanted to show you guys this quick update only on Discord, so don't mention it on YouTube. I'm gonna post it on YouTube anyway, but it's just for you guys on Discord as testers, let's say. I want to know what you guys think about this. Like, should we leave it dark or should we light it up a little bit? I do think a little bit more lighting would be nice in here. It's a little bit too dark for my opinion. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and see you guys in the next one.